All right, friends, I wanted to introduce you to Canoly's cold press juicer. This is their C16 model, and it is a masticating cold press juicer. You'll want to note that. Yes, there's a difference between regular juicers and cold press masticating juicers. Let me just briefly explain what the difference is. For years, I had saved up and I had purchased my first juicer, and this was years and years ago. I was super excited about it because at the time juicing was all the craze. That, and also as a young mom with several children, it just wasn't possible for me to head off to the juice shop every single day and get some fresh squeezed juice because it was so expensive. So I figured I'll just follow the trend and make some of my own juice. Well, it worked, but as I came to find out, and I was a little bit disappointed to see just how much waste there actually was. So with a regular juicer, you're using, it juices really quickly and rapidly to extract the juice from the fruits or vegetables. And it also uses, because it juices so quickly, it uses high heat, which oxidizes the fruits and vegetables and actually like breaks down the nutrient particles that are in the fruits and vegetables. So you're not really truly, number one, getting all those nutrients that you were hoping you'd get because they've been oxidized and the heat's broken them down. And you're also wasting a lot, which again, no, I was a young mom when I had first purchased my first juicer, and I just made a mental note and was like, I can't, this isn't something I could do every day. That said, I did a little bit more research over years to come, and I discovered that there are cold press juicers. So of course, I did a quick search. What's the difference between a cold press masticating juicer and a regular juicer? And I learned almost immediately. Searches came up, everything praising the cold press masticating juicer. And that's because it does not use high heat. It's slower, it's quieter. No, regular juicer is very extremely loud. This is quiet. And basically the cold press masticating juicer, it does juice slower, but you are still saving all of those nutritious components of the vegetables or the fruits that you're juicing. So you're getting a better bang for your buck because its juice is slower and it's not oxidizing the fruit and vegetables. It also is using, it leaves less waste, so less pulp. So that's just very important to note. As you can see here, again, this is Canoly's cold press juicer. It's masticating one. It is wonderful. I've just been using it to juice some very beautiful, lovely ruby red beets. So I put whole beets in there. If you really wanted to, you could even put the beets with the skin on. No need to remove them. Just make sure that you do clean them, scrub them really, really well so that they're dirt free. I also had added along to my beet juice a little bit of celery, tomato, and a touch of lime. I love a good tomato juice, and any opportunity that I have to be able to drink some, I will drink some. So I had some leftover tomatoes from a family barbecue that we had last night. We had hamburgers, so of course we had sliced tomato. Not everybody loves it. So before letting those the extra slices of tomato go bad, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna juice them. I added in some stalks of celery, and those juiced really well. I'm just gonna turn this on so you can see how it does so. Okay. So the celery, I'm gonna add it to my juice. Easy to juice. Several years ago, there was a celery juicing craze. You can look it up, but there are definitely benefits to juicing celery. With celery, you are gonna see a little bit more pulp, and that's because obviously it has a lot more fiber to it. Same for the beets. You can see here. And you might say, well, that's wasting a lot, but with the beets have a lot of fiber. Of course, if you really truly want all the nutritional properties and stuff of a fruit or vegetable, obviously eating it as it is raw is the best way to consume it. But a lot of people just love juicing because it's quick, convenient, you can drink it on the go, and you don't need to worry. A lot of people that are picky eaters as well, this is really the way that they will get their fruits and vegetables, servings of fruits and vegetables in. I know for my children, especially when they were younger, this was definitely the way to get their vegetable and fruits servings in daily. I'm just gonna show you really quickly what's cool about juicing too is you can even take citrus, so oranges, lemons, limes that have the peel on. You might be tempted to take the peel off, but I've read in recent years it's actually really beneficial to keep the peel on because there's a lot of really just for health's sake, right? Even fighting colds and viruses, it's important to leave this on, and we can juice this just as is. Make sure that there's no sticker if you bought it from the store. Make sure that there's no sticker labeling on the outside, and then also make sure that you wash it really well. But I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to put this in there. So there is a lid I can pop open. If the lid's open, the whole thing won't work. So it does need to be locked in place in order for me to turn it on and let it work. Or if I wanted to, I can cut this in smaller pieces and just slide it through right here. There is also this right here for me to kind of push items through. But for right now, for the sake of just saving time and me not having to cut anything, open it up, plop it in there, and I'll show you here just how quickly this will juice this. So what's really great about this too is my whole house right now smells like a smoothie place, a juice shop. It smells delightful. So you can see the juice is coming right, the lemon juice, sorry, not lemon, but the lime juice is coming down right here. If I wanted to, I could close this till it accumulates all in the bottom here. But this works really great. Absolutely love it. It's fantastic. It stores really well. This breaks down. You can hand wash everything with warm water, mild soap. I'm going to tell you in just a moment how to do that. We're going to give this a stop. If something were to get stuck, there is a reversal button. Okay, so if sometimes some things that are a little fibrous can get stuck in place, I'm going to show you how to change things out, because what's really cool about Canoly's C16 cold press juicer, what makes it unique as opposed to other juicers, is that it's a 3-in-1. So let me just show you. Of course, it comes with the instruction manual and troubleshooting little tips and hints. It also has QR codes in this booklet, so you can go online to get troubleshooting advice. It comes with the quick start guide. So if you want to use this immediately, right, you don't need to dig through several pages of manual, you can just follow this. And then what's really cool is it shows you how to use your 3-in-1. So it's a juicer, as I've just explained to you, but it also will make nut milk for you out of nuts or seeds. And then in addition to that, it will make sorbet, literally sorbet. Who doesn't love sorbet? So for the nut milk, it's important to note that the nut milk will take some preparation. If you have nuts, say for instance, you have like almonds, you'll want to take your nuts or your seeds and you're gonna want to pre-soak them in water for 4 to 12 hours. Once they've been pre-soaked, you're gonna go ahead and take them and then you're gonna put them in here just in small batches, and then you'll add some water, and there's a ratio of water that you add to your nuts. So it's 1-to-3 or 1-to-4 ratio. And then you're just gonna let it go, just as we've done right here. Again, this is where your pulp is going to come from, and this is where your juice itself will come from. So this is fabulous because you can make your own nut milk from nuts or seeds. And then, like I mentioned, you can also do a sorbet. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take this off, okay? And you can see it did not finish. I didn't give it enough time, but it didn't finish with it juiced, but it didn't finish breaking down my lime. I'm gonna just quickly put this back. I'll put it in just a moment. But for the sake of showing you how this works, let's go ahead and just remove this whole thing. So we twist, okay? And then you may want to just have like a paper towel or something on the counter surface, okay? Usually I wouldn't be making both sorbet and juice at the same time, so I'm just gonna kind of hurry through this. I still have a little bit of pulp right here, so I'm gonna put it on my plate. A little bit of juice, so I'll let that juice pour out, okay? And then tap the last bit of my pulp out, okay? I'm gonna put this back in place. Normally I would wash that, mild soap, warm water, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna hurry through. I'm gonna remove this from this. So this has little blades here on the side that was helping us juice. In order to wash that, don't touch that with your bare fingers. You'll want to use this little brush thing that comes along with the juicer, warm water, soap, to wash that really well. Okay, so we're gonna switch this out. If we are using this making sorbet, we're gonna want to use this piece that says right here, sorbet, okay? So we're gonna pop this in place and it will just twist in place and lock in place, you'll hear it. Then we're gonna take our little spinny interblade thing here and align this. It pops and locks in place, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and put this back on. So take note, there's little arrows right here with the lock button, unlock button. There's also an arrow right here on the canister. You're gonna line this up, align this, and then twist it until you can't twist it anymore and it locks in place. Again, this has that safety feature. If it's not locked in place, you can't turn it on. Okay, I can either, for my sorbet, I can either, I'm gonna empty my pulp here in just a moment. So with my sorbet, I can either put it all in or just lift the lid and put it all into the tub. The tub can, I believe it will hold up to 90 ounces of product here. But for right now, we're just gonna go ahead and we're not gonna use the sifter. This is for when we make juice. But for the sorbet, we're just gonna make sure this cup, in an ideal world, this cup would be cleaned out. But for right now, for time's sake, we're gonna just leave it as is. Okay, so I can plop my mango in this way, right? I can use this if I needed to push it down, if I was doing a whole bunch, get it in there. But again, we're in a little bit of a hurry, so I'm gonna just plop the whole thing in there. And if I were trying to make this for a crowd or for my family, I would obviously wanna fill it with a lot more mango. I could, in addition to frozen fruit, I could do frozen mango, I could do frozen pineapple, I could do frozen peaches, I could do frozen blueberries, I could do frozen grape, I could do frozen strawberries, right? Any frozen fruit. And I don't have to necessarily buy the pre-packaged frozen fruit. I can buy fruit, say for instance, in August where I live, we have what's called peach days. And you can buy big old bushels of peaches and they will last us for several weeks. And it's like literally like 25 pounds of peaches that we buy. And by the end of like 2 weeks, we're like gluttons for peaches and we're just full of them, right? So we can't do any more, but they're starting to rot. If we don't want them to rot, then we can juice them, right? We can juice peaches, or we can even now make them into a sorbet. All you need to do is make sure, again, that the pit, the hard pit, if a fruit has a pit in it that is out, you can leave on the skin if you want. Just make sure it's washed really well. And then cut it up into pieces, freeze it for at least 8 hours. And then once it's frozen, the fruit has been frozen for at least 8 hours, then I can make it into sorbet. So if I pull it out of the freezer, I don't want to let it sit any longer than 5 minutes. And that's just because after that, it will get mushy. Anyway, so let's go ahead and show you really quick. I put in my frozen mango. Let's make sorbet. So now sorry, it would help if I plugged it in, right? Let's go ahead and make sorbet. Now that I'm making sorbet, just note, you'd think it would come out here on the juice side. No, the sorbet is nice and creamy, so it's gonna come out right here. You can see that right here where traditionally your pulp comes out. And again, I didn't clean this super well, so it has little extra pieces of the previous, beetroot that I had used, but look at that. It's beautiful, it's creamy. It's delicious, all natural, and I haven't had to use any sweeteners. This thing I absolutely love. And like I said, I have in years past, more recent years, I have bought a not a 3-in-1, but a cold press juicer, masticating juicer, but it is unlike Canoly's C16 cold press juicer because it's not a 3-in-1. In fact, I was just sitting here thinking I am going to actually give my other cold press juicer away so that I can keep this one, because I love, again, that I can make the nut milk, and that I can also make, in addition to juice, that I can make sorbet. Anyways, check it out. Absolutely love it. You will love it too, and this would make a great gift. So grab two.